that some men disagree on with regards to men being chasers, men collect women, or the men who are just looking for a good woman and struggling.
Are they looking for a good woman, or are they looking for a good time?
To the men who are talking about this area, you can answer, Nigel. A good woman or a good time? Say some more, Nigel.
Well, you said men chasing women and collecting women. Well, that type of guy would be termed as a player, as far as the American parlance is concerned. Yeah, so and there's different types of players. They're not they are not good candidates for a serious relationship. Certainly not. I've spent many years in nightclubs as a resident DJ, so I wasn't into relationship coaching then. I'm just naturally a very observant person. I just watch and observe, and I've seen some scenarios that are just horrendous. And I've spoken to women who've been involved with guys who, clearly unfaithful, clearly just collecting women. But they're different types. They're different types of players. So when you kind of look at it, you get guys who or pursue various women at the same time, for example. But they like the chase. They get a buzz from the chase and the conquest. Once they've got what they want, and we know what they want, we're all big people listening. So once they get what they want, they're off. They're on the pursuit for onto the next.
Yes.
You get guys who will pretend to be all lovey-dovey and create. I say create an emotional connection. It's a false emotional connection. Basically, just tell the woman what he thinks she wants to hear. Again, once he's got what he wants, he's on to the next, and he may not even be on to the next, because in old-fashioned parlance, it's harem. So some players have got 2-3 women on the go at the same time.
Nigel, a lady's asking, why men make so much effort to chase a woman, and then when the woman gives them attention, she wonders why they seem to ease off. And with a gentleman saying that men work hard to chase women, it's like a sport. Men who collect women, men who they work on gaining a woman's attention. So they can text women often, and basically they're just texting because, as he says, some men are just bored. It's just something they do. The women think, he likes me, he's texting me, he's checking up on me, he's on the phone for a long time, he calls me frequently. But really, that's just part of the chase. That's pretty much what he's saying. And then that some men seek validation from women. So, Nigel, any thoughts?
All players are collectors. In fact, all players are chasers and collectors, because that's what they do. But then you have to look at, again, as I said, motivation, which is why I was touching on a few of the different types of player, as it were, because they've all got the same goal. And you said something about attention. The guy, well, yes, he wants the woman's attention, but ultimately he wants the cookie, as the Americans call it. So because that's the goal. That's the goal of a player. And it's interesting because I know of cases personally. I know of women, they get involved with a player, and player has got, say, 3 or 4 children for 3 or 4 different women. There's one thing, a guy could have 4 children, right? He could have been with the woman and he's got 3 children for one woman and 1 child for another woman. Okay, that's fair enough, that happens. But when you've got a guy who's got 3-4 children for 3 or 4 different women, that's a major red flag. But because players are very good at what they do, because they have a lot of practice, they can convince a woman that he's the one. And then on the other hand, on the other side of that, you've got women who think they can change the guy. And people rarely change. Not saying people can't change, but in the final analysis, people only change if they want to change. And if they're getting what they want, why should they change? They don't have any incentive to change. So basically, a chaser or a collector, basically, they engage without any genuine emotional commitment. So, and often, obviously, they're liars, they're deceptive. They use charm, they use manipulation. Obviously, they have multiple partners, often at the same time. But in terms of a relationship, it's not going anywhere. That's why I always say to women that if you're in a relationship and you have doubts about your status in that relationship or where you stand in that relationship, you've got a major problem. Because you may not even be in a relationship. You may like to believe you're in one, but whether you're actually in one is another matter. Okay. Insecure, but at the end of the day, the issue is, why is the woman feeling insecure? That's the issue. Is it because of previous experiences, or previous childhood experiences, or is it because her partner is making her feel insecure because he flirts, etc.? I done a workshop back in, probably 2016, all men workshop, and there was about 30 black guys, and one of the guys said, his partner does not allow him to have any female friends. So I said, that's interesting. Right. So I said, so the question is, so I asked him, so why do you think that is then? And he said, he's not sure, she's probably insecure. So I said, okay. But my question to him was, have you done anything to make your partner feel insecure? And he didn't give me a straight answer, to be fair. but that's the obvious question. Yeah. It's like, because on the surface, that sounds quite extreme, or you can't have friends of the opposite sex. But then the question becomes, but why does she feel insecure? Have you, as her partner, done anything to make her feel insecure? So, for example, say he's cheated on his partner before. Well, obviously she's going to feel insecure and suspicious. And she has every right to do so. So, as I say, it's not, you can't just kind of, I don't like to just deal with stuff on a surface level. You have to kind of ask questions and dig into the topic. Well, yeah, they're insecure, but why are they insecure? Have you done something to make them insecure? So, yeah.
Supreme Radio, Supreme Radio, Supreme Radio.
The original UK Black Men Talk radio show.